So definitely be open to it. Don't do that, because AI is here and it's going to change our life if we want it or not. For me, AI is going to make us superhumans and going to replace people, no doubt about it. But the thing is, the A player always will have a place.
What is Agentic AI and how is it going to change the short-term rentals industry? Will the big OTAs be taken over by lots of smaller booking platforms? Will AI help you to create a direct booking website in seconds? And what can hosts and property managers do now in order to prepare for this revolution? Shahar Goldboim from Boom is the special guest on the House Planet podcast, and he'll be answering all these questions and more on today's show. Shahar, thank you for joining us on the House Planet podcast. Now, to prepare for our chat, I asked ChatGPT to come up with some agentic AI predictions for the STR space over the next year. But first things first, explain to us, what is agentic AI?
Will do, James. First of all, always pleasure to be with you. Always enjoying the conversation. As for what agentic AI, I like to look at stuff in really easy way. So agentic AI is imagine that you're talking to your employee and you can ask him for any information that you want about what's going on in the business. You can ask him for any suggestions that you want to what you need to do. And you can ask him to do any actions that you want. So that's kind of like what agentic AI is.
So your own personal agent. Now, we're going to run through these predictions and apply them to the short-term rentals industry. So the number one prediction is that AI will become the primary discovery layer for travel. What do you make of this?
So imagine it like that. In the end, it's who you put your trust in, right? So now as a traveler, what do? I trust Airbnb. Why do I trust Airbnb or Booking.com? Because I know when I will open the app, I will be able to get inventory almost anywhere around the world. So if I'm going to Chicago, or if I'm going to New York, or if I'm going to London, I can go into an Airbnb and basically see it over there. That's one of the reasons why I will do it. The second reason, if something happens, I have kind of somebody in between that will be able to help me in this kind of case. So it's where my trust basically stay. Now, if I have an agent that I can talk with and he can already screen for me everything, and I don't need to do the negotiation and know where I want to go, so I trust him. So once I trust the agent, I kind of skipping the broker, which is Airbnb or Booking.com. Now, as to where the inventory will sit, what kind of understanding the AI will get from a certain territory in matter of review, that's something that will evolve, but definitely we're going to see it. Also, I feel that the search itself, right now we are searching in matter of, I want to go to Miami, in between, for Christmas, because I want somewhere hot. So I want to come from December 22nd to January 1st. I want to go to Miami, and I want something that will be less than $5,000 for the accommodation. So I will put in the price, I will put how much I want to put per night, and then it will show me all of the availability. I feel that the agent is the one thing that we talked before, but on the search aspect, it will be much more of an open text, right? So I will write, I want to get to somewhere hot in Christmas time, in between the 22nd to the 1st. I want it to be less than 2 hours flight away from where I'm at. I want to have a view to the ocean, and I'm coming with my two daughters, so I would like to have a lot of activities for kids around the hotel, preferably walking distance. And we're actually going to bring the dog as well, so we need dog friendly place. And in reality, it will be much more of an open text, much less structured, and it will give me the best option for me in a certain place.
Yeah, so very basically here, rather than, you're not going to go to booking.com or Airbnb or any other travel website, you're going to go and ask, a large language model or an AI tool, this is exactly what I want, and trust the AI tool to give you the best options.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
then. So
and also when you're looking also more to the future, when you're thinking about it, the AI will know a lot about you, so it will already present you something that you like based upon everything that he knows about you. So cut also the option of you need to look. It's yeah.
and the whole point there is that, with the agentic AI, is that in future you're going to get to the point where you trust your agent so much that it's going to book for you, and it's going to have got the best rate, the best location. It might even have booked direct to get you the best possible price and experience and all that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
100%. Think about it like you're talking with your wife, right? So you're like, okay, we want to go to vacation. Then she's bringing a lot, like, she would bring like three options. Hey, we have this, we have that, or we have that. What do you feel like? So it will be kind of like conversational, right? Like, but already with understanding, already with presenting options, and you pick. It's easy.
Okay, real talk now for all you hosts out there. You know that moment when your guest messages you again with, hey, what's the Wi Fi code? Or you're staring at 5 different calendars, wondering if you've accidentally double booked the cottage. Yes, we've all been there. That's why here at Host Planner we recommend Hostfully. It's basically your rentals control center. It handles bookings across all the big platforms, syncs your calendars to ensure there are no double bookings, automates guest messages, and even creates these really slick digital guidebooks that stop all the repeat questions. Honestly, it just makes your life easier and keeps your guests happier, helping you achieve those all-important 5-star reviews. And here is a little bonus. If you're a Host Planet listener, you can get $500 off onboarding for Hostfully's property management software and 30% off digital guidebooks for life. Just hit the link in the show notes and use the codes PLANET500 for the PMS and Host Planet GB for the guidebooks. And if you'd like a proper walkthrough, there's also a link to book a demo with Frank Bosey from Hostfully. He will show you how it all works. Less stress, more bookings, sorted with Hostfully. Who do you trust more to pick the best vacation spot, your wife or the agentic AI?
Depends. I'm answering my wife or I'm answering you. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so prediction number 2. Dozens of new AI driven booking channels will emerge. What do you think?
Yeah, AI is going to, in the end, it's a change of infrastructure, right? Like it's a change in everything that we know. Think about AI like water, like electricity, like internet. It's an infrastructure, and AI becoming the infrastructure of intelligence. And to that infrastructure of intelligence, we will connect all kind of devices, right? Like when you have electricity, you have TV, but you have AC. One is like watching, and one is like cold air. So a lot of new product will be developed, and obviously, the one that will stay behind. So obviously, this technology will allow us. Think about, like, for example, Blockbuster and Netflix, right? What happened over there? You had like a lot of stores selling DVDs with Blockbuster. They were all over the United States, and then Netflix came, and with the infrastructure change of internet, it's become streaming. So why would I go to a store to get a DVD, get it to my home? It's a time consuming. I have to pick. Now I can just press. So a lot of development will happen everywhere.
This point here is saying dozens of new AI driven booking channels. And one thing it's suggesting here is that for hosts, this means bookings may come from many smaller channels rather than Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, and maybe direct. Is this something you see happening quite quickly? You think we're going to see lots of AI generated booking channels?
It's more like an agent rather than the channels. So it's like a direct, like so people will go to ChatGPT and ask him, where should I go? And then they will get an answer. Or now with like Google, the way they are coming. So the ability to find a product will be more dependent on what the value that it's bring to the end consumer rather than huge marketing budget. So when you look at independence compared to really high brand, it will make them more equal, right? Because it depends on the values that they give rather the sounds that they make. So if that makes sense.
That leads us nicely to prediction number three, which is the playing field will level for independent hosts because agentic AI does not care about your brand size, your marketing budget, your OTA ranking, who pays for ads. It cares about fit, availability, accuracy, and guest intent. And it's suggesting this might be the biggest shift in decades. What do you make of this prediction?
I think it's 100% truth because in the end of the day, it's measure of value. And it will be able to measure the value in a lot of ways that it's really hard for us. You will go to Airbnb, you will go to HomeAway, you won't go to like 100 different sites, you won't go into the site of the company, you won't like read all of the review, understand how the review applying to you compared to your travel. So the ability to understand the value for a specific will be huge. And again, it's not just like in traveling, even in education, your kids, the way they study. Right now, they study with all of the group, with all of like their class, right? But the way learning is going to be is it will be based upon the person, and from that, understanding what's the level of education that you need, in which like depart and that aspect will go everywhere, not just to travel.
Your short term rental business is evolving fast, but how do you keep up with the latest regulation, tax changes, and industry trends? The answer is to attend the House Planet Roadshow, which is coming to a city near you in 2026. This is the UK's premier event for holiday let professionals, supported by the Short Term Accommodation Association, Price Labs, and the Women in Short Term Rentals community. This is your essential opportunity for learning, networking, and expert insight. Starting in Cornwall on the 5th of February, you'll spend a full day mastering compliance, optimizing your revenue strategies, and sharing lessons learned with your peers. After Cornwall, we'll be in Portsmouth on the 4th of March and London on the 23rd of April. That's the day after the Short Stay Summit. Later in the year, we'll be heading to Nottingham, Bath, Chester, and Edinburgh. So don't navigate the complex 2026 market alone. Learn from the leaders driving the industry forward and shape the short-term rental conversation in your market. Tickets are just £40 each and available now from our website. Head to houseplanet.club for further details. I'm sure there'll be hosts and property managers out there thinking, how can I make sure that when somebody makes a prompt on ChatGPT or Gemini or anywhere else, how can I make sure that it's my brand, it's my properties that are getting visibility? And I imagine you're thinking about this from your company's point of view as well. You want somebody when they go in, which PMS should I use? You want to be recommended, right? So how can businesses make sure they are getting recommended by these large language models?
So it's how you understand value, right? You understand value from the data. So the data needs to be structured so the AI will be able to read it and understand what you give. It's your ability to put into the text what people actually enjoy and love. So he will be able to capture it and understanding it's specific to a person. In regards to the PMS, it's like a lot is on review sites that are in that you want to be high over there in matter of scores. It's all about validation and value, right? Like it's like how much I trust and what's the value that it brings me. And once these two are combined, it gives me the ability to decide, hey, you know what? That's the place. Yeah.
Makes sense. How is this going to affect OTAs? Because prediction four is that OTA influence will decline but not disappear. Where do you see the future for Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, and others in a world of agentic AI?
No, it's really hard to know, to be honest. And I'm not 100% sure. I do sure that trust is a big thing, and for them it will be a challenge how they build the trust in a way, and how the agentic AI not passing them as a broker, but also they getting a lot of the information from the OTA. And also I see another thing that coming up, which is paid within the LLMs. So it will be a mix of, like, when you think about SEO, so you have the organic and you have the paid, and it might be also a combination with the AI that will play into that. So I think that again, the movement that we see is unprecedented, meaning it's the biggest change that humanity have ever seen, right? When we look at like industrial revolution happened, like people were like basically farmers, they were thinking like how we actually produce food. And then after industrial revolution took around 150 years for people to change position, right? So we were farmers, we moved into factories. The factories created accounting, legal, and basically like we build basically all the professions that we know today. And with AI, everything that all of the fundamentals that we know are going to be changed, but not in a period of time of 150 years, in a period of time of 10 years. So it's hard to predict everything, but we see where we are going. That's for sure.
How do you think advertising is going to change the landscape, when large language models start accepting fees for getting more visibility?
Advertising also going to be like a total different animal, right? All of the A/B testing, all of the changes, your ability to do multiplies, trial when AI is basically pushing emails, doing A/B testing, like get like the understanding what works, what not working. Again, every field is going to change bottom to top, and we need to understand how to use the tools, how to be better, and in the end of the day, it's give us the power to be like superheroes, like for real. Even think about yourself. For the preparation to this podcast, right? You went and you asked ChatGPT, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast on such and such. Shoot me like all of the questions, and something that used to take you probably 2 to 3 hours. Now you change into like a 5 minutes process. Like you review, you optimize, tack, tack, tack. I have it, and that in every action that you do.
Yeah, 100%. These next two predictions, then, I think we're probably already seeing this. STR operations are going to shift from automation to autonomy, and AI will become the new revenue manager. It feels like that's already happening in real time. What do you make of that?
Yeah, we are at Boom. We are working on this change for the last 2.5 years. It's something that we saw really clearly, and I like to call it automation of automation. Uh, and 100% in all level, in level of communication. Now we already eliminate 80% of the communication of our like customers, like meaning now they need to deal with 20%. They can focus much more on the problem rather on the TDS. Like in matter of sales, you can be available 24/7. In matter of dispatching, like now you know the KPI of each person. You know the cleaner that's cleaning the fastest, how much they like, what's the score that he's getting, who is better to send where based upon GPS location. Um, in matter of like accounting reconciliation to do against the bank, pretty easy to AI. So for me, it will go in every level now. Also with agentic AI that sit on the top. Like for example, I used to have a property management company, pretty big one, and I used to go to the utilities after it. I transfer it to somebody, and I would like to see, hey, you know what? If the water bill went more than 10% a month, I might have a leak. I should take a look at it, and it's something that. And now you're just telling the agentic AI, hey, you know what? If the price going more than 10%, the utility bill of the water, please send me notification. Let's do it every the 15th of the month. And from now on, every 15th of the month, you will do it. If you want an extra step, you know what? Already send like a handyman to check it, and let's see if we can fix it or what the problem is. And again, you can do it with everything. So everything change into a playbook with triggers to when it needs to be done.
Yeah, automating automations. I like that. I like that explanation. Number seven prediction then, and I think this is very relevant to you. So the STR tech stack will compress instead of 10 tools or whatever it might be. Hosts may rely on a much smaller amount of technology. What do you reckon?
First of all, 100%. Also, something that we saw for the last 2 years, and we are pushing on it because the way technology used to be built. When you're thinking about it, think about SaaS. Think about the model. So the model was supposed to fix a solution to somebody in your company. So let's say you own a company, your bookkeeper working on QuickBooks, your handyman working on Monday, your a marketing person working on HubSpot. And the way it used to work, that the people on top of that tools were talking in between them to run the company, meaning your bookkeeper now doesn't have an invoice. What he will tell the handyman, hey, send me the invoice, right? If it's through emails, through text, or whatever it is. We really believe that the world moving into a world of BaaS, which is business as a software, where all of the tools combine. So everything talking with everything, right? So think about that. Let's say I have a PMS and the PMS have a plugin of AI. And now your guest, you come again and you ask me, can I do an early check-in? A simple question, right? But how can, as an AI, can give you the answer if it doesn't know the task? Meaning if I need to fix a toilet or I need to fix a shower or the cleaning was done, or there was a late reservation, my ability to give you the information based upon the data that I have in order to give it to you. So, in matter of tools, when I have an API connection, I have some data, but I don't know to answer like you. So, for example, me and you have some API integration, meaning I know where you're living, I know a little bit about your history, I know where you worked, I know how you got into the space. But if somebody will ask me a question like he's asking you, no way I will be able to answer like you because I don't know your childhood, I don't know your parents, I don't know like how you translate certain stuff that happened to you. So in order to really answer like a business, I need to have the whole. And if the whole combined to a lot of places, I won't be able to. So I'm definitely on that.
Yeah, data access. Yeah, all these things are going to become
Data
even more.
access and also execution. So
Mm,
execution is also a big thing, right? Because now I want to open a task. Now I want that task to move into payment to this contractor. Now I want to do reconciliation in the bank against that payment, right? Now it's need to go to the P&L of the owner. Now it's not to go into the trust accounting of the company to create the flow. So everything that you do need to have a complete cycle to all of the action in order to the system to work right.
100%. Direct booking websites then. So it says direct booking websites will become AI first. We've seen actually a friend of both of us, Richard Vorton, did a quite a long piece recently about the fact that he thinks that AI is going to make it so simple and a lot cheaper to create high quality direct booking websites. Is this something that you see, and how much of a boost is this going to be for independents out there?
There's 1,000% like on that. So your ability is to talk with the software rather than use the software. So you will be able to talk with it and explain him what you want and how to do and why to do. What we talked about LLM going to find directly as the direct booking site because it will be cheaper. So if you have enough validation on your booking site that the guest will get like same experience or better experience than Airbnb and the AI will trust that, then it will present your property rather than the Airbnb property because it has the level of trust. Also in the level of what it's presenting to a certain guest that coming to the website, how you adjust the website based upon the user that coming to your website so that it will be changing as you go. So you will see something different than me because we look at stuff differently in matter of like how to close it. So in all kind of level it will play.
Wow, a completely dynamic website which will change depending on what that person wants. That's
Hmm. Hmm.
that's amazing. You mentioned there trust, and that brings us quite nicely to the next point, which is trust will shift from platforms to AI interpreters. Guests won't trust Airbnb reviews anymore. You could argue that guests don't trust a lot of Airbnb reviews right now, but they will trust their personal AI to tell them what's reliable, what's safe, what's good value. So potentially trust becomes personal and decentralized from platforms like Airbnb and Booking.com where it currently is. What do you make of that?
I'm trying to think about it because like with Airbnb, the reviews are pretty, meaning like it's pretty good the way they are analyzing review, who they allow to leave review. My assumption is that the AI will read and will build the trust on the review itself and know to do the analysis in the best way in order to present you the best reviews that relevant to you, if it makes sense. In the end, everything in life is trust, right? You're doing business with people that you trust, or it's all about trust. In any relation, in any business, it's what my trust in you.
Yes, in a world of AI, how does that fit? If we're trusting agentic AI and this human element is taken out of it to a large degree, how does that fit?
In what kind of connotation? I'm trying to understand.
I mean, I'm trying to think here as well. I mean, I guess I'm trying to run it back to short-term rentals, but I guess if we just completely trust the AI, then we're not so worried about looking at a direct booking website and finding the about page and seeing who we're booking with. So yeah, everything boils down to trust and ideally those personal relationships, but maybe those personal relationships that they're not going to be as visible as they previously were.
Right, it's built up to a trust. So let's say the agentic AI picks like three places, and let's say you pick the place, and let's say you're going and you're not enjoying, and then you're going again and you're not enjoying, and then you're going again and you're not enjoying. He lost the trust. So it's all about like create the value that you will build the trust rather than like not. And I believe that we will live in a world that the trust just will get more and more conquered. Yeah.
So finally, then, hosts who prepare now will win big. So to the hosts and property managers out there who know that agentic AI is coming in a big way, how can they prepare to future-proof their businesses?
Understanding how to implement AI in their organization, understand, look at every department and see how they can optimize it, how they can install the AI mentality within their organization. Small things that they can do, they can tell their people, don't ask nobody question before you ask in ChatGPT to see if he can answer that. Just a small thing, right? And already you're losing 60-70% of the questions that people have just from doing it. And then like understanding how to do automation of automation, search for tools that will make them better, and open your mind to it. Meaning when your mind is open, when you're looking for stuff are coming, but it's starting from the openness. So definitely be open to it. Don't like do that because AI is here and it's going to change our life if we want it or not. And for me, AI is going to make us superhumans and going to replace people, no doubt about it. But the thing is, the A player always will have a place. And you can have organization full of A player rather than the B and the C, and you can create much more scalability with your business. So yeah, and also giving your people much more work-life balance, right? Like being a property manager is hard. It's working 24/7, 365 days a year. It's non-stop. And the ability to do more with less is huge. And it's not that AI is going to replace people. Companies not using AI going to be replaced by ones that do. So definitely put efforts and implement it within your company.
Big change is coming, people. Okay, then, Shahar, before we head off, then give us the lowdown on Boom. What are you guys up to at the moment, and where can people find out more information?
So Boom at the moment released BAM. And BAM is a business agentic AI of Boom, which allowing you think about it this way. So from a software perspective, you have end-to-end solution to run all of your business under one system. To that, we have AI agents that will answer customer support, sales, accounting, and so on and so on. And on top of that, we have BEM, which is the agentic AI that you can ask any question to any data that you want. So it doesn't have to be a structured data. I can even ask him, what are the best mattresses in my company? And it will go to the review, understand the people that basically enjoying it. So you can ask any information that you want. You can ask any suggestions that you want, meaning how can I increase sales? Where is my leakage? And so on and so on. And you can do any actions that you want, like in the system, in any trigger points that you want. So it's a really a game changer in the way you manage company.
Fascinating. And if people want to find out more, where should they go?
Boomnow.com and to my LinkedIn profile, Shahar Goldboim.
Check it out, people. We'll put those links and details in the show notes. Shahar, it's been a real pleasure and a really fascinating conversation. Thanks for joining us on the Host Planet podcast.
Thank you, James. Always a pleasure.
Great to chat to Shahar Goldboim there from Boom. I hope you found that conversation as fascinating as I did. That's just about it for today's episode. Remember, this podcast is brought to you in collaboration with Hostfully, which is trusted by short-term rental professionals across the globe. As a Host Planet listener, you get 2 exclusive offers. $500 off onboarding for Hostfully's property management software. Just use the code PLANET500 and 30% off digital guidebooks for life. Use the code HostPlanetGB. To grab these deals, click the link in the show notes or head to hostfully.com. For more free education, tips and trends from the STR industry, visit hostplanet.club, where you can sign up for our newsletter, listen to our podcasts, and download a suite of ebooks for hosts and property managers. That's it for today's episode. Until next time, happy hosting.